Hello and welcome everyone to another video to Union Arena. This time we're gonna take a look at the new Jujutsu Kaisen set, which will come out in like 2 or 3 weeks at the end of November. There are 3 colors in total in this deck, in this set. First we have like the yellow color, we have purple too, and we have blue. And I think blue is also the structure deck that comes out. So in this video, I just want to take a look at like the major cards, the raid cards that are coming out, some of the events, and some of the archetypes that are coming out that you can play. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. It's coming out soon. I think a lot of people are gonna play this deck because it's pretty popular. The blue deck, I think, is also pretty strong at the moment. Or it's gonna be strong when it comes out. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy the video. So first we're gonna take a look at the yellow deck, the yellow color of Jujutsu Kaisen. I think personally it's one of the weaker colors, but it has like some fun stuff going on, and we have like the Gojo in this color too. I'm not sure if, I think he might be also in the blue color, but yeah. Starting off with the raid cards in the yellow set, we have 3 raid cards. We have the Kugisaki Nobara, we have Panda, and we have Megumi. These 2 are just, I think, general cards, raid cards that you can play like in every deck, while the Megumi is a little bit locked to the trade Shikigami. Or he revolves around the trade Shikigami. So let's take a look at the Nobara first. She has an active main ability to pay 1 action point once per turn. This character gains double damage for the turn, which is like pretty strong. 1 AP cost to get that is okay. It's a little bit expensive because there are other cards that have this naturally. But yeah, she is raid Nobara. I'm gonna take a look at the little cards a little bit later. And she has also one on-play ability to rest up to one of your opponent's frontline characters. And the next time it would switch to active, it doesn't. So she has an on-play to freeze one of the frontline characters. So she is basically similar to the Hitsugaya, the green Hitsugaya in the Bleach set. So let's take a look at the smaller Nobaras. So we have the 0 cost Nobara with a get trigger, which is like pretty standard, no effect. 1 action point, you can raid early on with this. And then the next one is a little bit better. She has a 2 energy, 1 action point card with a draw trigger. And when she's in the front line, you can rest her to rest on one of the opponent's frontline characters. So you can take like a swing with like a higher character. You could rest like a 4K if you cannot swing with her, which is like pretty good. And lastly, as a support, she has this event card, which costs nothing if you have her on board. It's pretty good. You can choose like 1 active character on your front line and 1 character on your opponent's front line. Oh, choose 1 active character on your front line and 1 on your opponent's front line, and you can rest both of them. It's pretty okay. It's not too strong. You can just rest like a smaller body on your field to rest like another body. And this is also like a special trigger, so you can have 4 of these special triggers in your deck. If you play the yellow deck, I think like the other special trigger might be better to run, even if you have the Nobara in your deck. Next we're gonna look at Panda, which is pretty basic. He's a raid character on Panda. He has step, and all his pre-evolutions, like previous cards, they also have like step. He has double block and he has impact, and also gets plus 1000 battle points, which is kind of weird because he could have just been like a 4K, so I don't know why they put it here. I guess because like of effect negation effects and stuff like this. He has double energy, which is pretty good. But yeah, pretty basic character. Double block is okay, is not that useful, I think. Only if this character would be like a 5K, then it would be good. Impact 1 is generally speaking really good, and step is like also okay if you have like 2 energy. The smaller pandas also just really basic. You have a 0 cost panda with step, And you have the 3 energy panda with step. The 3 energy has an active trigger, which is kind of okay. And also double energy generation, so especially with step and 3000 battle points is like pretty good. Pretty decent card. I think you can run him in like any of the yellow decks. The last raid card in the yellow deck is the Megumi. He has 4 energy cost, 1 energy generation. Has a 1 play ability to search top 5 cards of your deck, add to 1 card with Straight Shinigami or Chimera Shadow Garden. So Chimera Shadow Garden is an field, I think, or an event card. And Straight Shinigami is just like an archetype. It doesn't say where to add it, but like I guess you just add it to your hand. And then put the rest at the bottom of the deck. It's pretty normal. Then you can play a character with Straight Shinigami and 1 AP cost from your hand rested if you have the sufficient energy. So this is basically like the green Unohana, but Unohana can play them as active. She also costs 6 energy. I guess you can play them for free, which is pretty good. And yeah, the trade Shikigami I'm gonna talk about after I talk about the small Megumis. And also I will show the Chimera Shadow Garden. So firstly, let's take a look at the smaller ones. They're both 3 costs. So there's no 0 cost Megumi, I think, if I didn't miss them. And the first one is just like another searcher. Add 1 card Shikigami to your hand and then place the remaining at the bottom of your deck. He also has 2 energy generation, which is pretty strong for a searcher. And then the other one requires 2 action points. And on play he can play a Trade Shikigami with 3 energy consumption or less from your hand. Or from the outside area is active. Oh, okay. So he just can revive like some bodies or like play someone for free, which is okay for 2 action points. He also has double energy generation, and he has a collar trigger. Okay, color trigger, and he can rest the character. He can freeze the character, so yeah, it's a pretty strong card. So these are the Trade Shikigami cards and event cards that go together with Megumi. First, like the Shikigami trade is like, some of them are basic characters like the Orochi, 2 energy, 3000 battle points, pretty basic. But you also have like the 0 cost Kuro and Shiro. I think these are his dogs that he can summon. Yeah, right, okay. And they have like a when attacking ability, and you can buff like another character by 500 battle points. It's pretty strong. This is this is the Kon, another Shikigami card. He gets double damage if you have these cards in the outside area. So it's gonna happen like pretty much every game. And the last Shikigami is No, which has when attacking to mill a card from your to just mill a card. Draw 1 card and place 1 card in the outside area. So this is the Chimera Garden, Shadow Garden. This is a pretty strong field spell, which makes yellow like, I think this is like probably the strongest thing that yellow can play. It is a field spell. It doesn't have energy generation, which is like kind of bad, but you only need like maximum like 4 energy in this deck, I think. So it has active main ability, pay 1 action point, all your Shikigami from your area gain plus 1000 battle points during this turn. Yeah, it's good. But then it has once per turn, when your Megumi attacks, you can choose 1 Shikigami and set it back to active. Yeah, that's pretty strong. You can do it once per turn, but if you have like 2 of them on board and like 2 double energy, you can do it like twice. So that is like a really strong field spell. And then the last one is the special trigger. Again, you can only have like 4 of these in your deck, and I think the other special trigger was from Nobara. This is just a better one. You can draw 1 card and then you can play 1 Shikigami character from your hand that has 3 or less energy and 1 action point, or from the outside area. And then if you have Megumi on the field, you can play it as active. So this card plays like a character from your sideline or from your hand for free. It's pretty strong. Now for the non-raid cards. This one is like kind of the boss monster, 6 energy, 2 action points, Gojo. He's not a raid character, which is kind of weird, but like, yeah, I guess it's kind of like this Hisoka in the Hunter x Hunter deck set. He has Impact 1, pretty standard, 5k, battle points, super strong. On play, you can draw one card, except for Gojo, restore AP cost of your next card used from hand by 1. Okay, this is like just good. So that makes sense because he costs like 2 action points, which just he allows you to play like another character for free. So yeah, pretty strong card. Then he also has like 2 smaller versions. The first one is the 4 cost. 4 energy, 1 action point. Gojo, he can just bounce 1 field card on the field on the bottom of the deck. He has 3,500 battle points, so he's a pretty decent attacker, standard card again. So you don't need to raid with Gojos, you don't need to bother like getting any of them on board. The second Gojo is a little bit stronger. He has double block, which is okay. He has also collar trigger to rest or to freeze an opponent. But his opponent's turn effect is at the moment your opponent chooses this character by a character or event card effect, your opponent must pay an additional action point. So if he wants to remove this character from the field, like the, I don't know, Getsuga Tensho KO spell, he would need to use 2 action points. So he's like very difficult to remove by event cards, almost like impossible. And then the other support character is like just the 2 cost Toge. He has impact negate, which is strong. A lot of characters have impact, and you can just sacrifice him to get rid of like 1 damage loss. His active main ability is also kind of decent. Pay 1 action point, and you can buff your entire front line by 1,000 battle points. His one cost version is also kind of good because on retire you can like freeze, or no, you can just rest 1 character. So if you have him in the front line, he blocks like your opponent's first attack, you can rest 1 character for free. So there's 1 less attack coming through. So he's like pretty strong card, and I think I would play him in every deck. Next we have like some of the general events run in the set. We have the but you can see a domain expansion is just to reset your action points. Back to active is also the final trigger for yellow. Then we have the Zurei Yuho from Nobara. This can KO like a rested character. Since this yellow set can rest a lot of characters, you can just KO someone with this event. And then the last event is Reverse Curse Technique Red, which allows you to move a character from the front line to the from your opponent's front line to the energy line, or swap 2 characters if the front line is full. There are 2 more event cards that are run together with the Gojo, or like relying on the Gojo. This one is the Hollow Technique Purple. If there's a Gojo on your field, reduce the action points by 1. It's 2 action points cost. So you would have to have him on the field to activate this card. Like it's better to play. It's better than paying 2 action points. And he just allows you to like KO 1 character on your opponent's front line. And the last one is the Infinite Void, which is pretty funny. It's a field card. On play, you can choose 1 character on your opponent's front line, rest it, and as long as this field card remains on the field, this character cannot become active anymore. Except for active trigger, maybe. So it cannot become active during the start and end phase, yeah, so active trigger might still work. But if you don't have a Gojo on your front line, you need to retire this card during the end of your battle phase. I think this will be like a pretty average deck. It's kind of fun to play around with the Shikigai trait or the Gojos with his freezing ability, steal spell. But yeah, I think it won't be like a strong deck. Like I think it will be decent, but it won't be too strong. Okay, so next up we're gonna have the purple color of the Jujutsu Kaisen set that's coming out soon in November. It features the Kyoto school with Todo and Miwa, and it also got the bad boys of Geto, Mahito, and Jogo. So these are the 3 raid cards in this set. We have Todo from Kyoto School as a raid card on Todo. We have Jogo and Mahito from like the bad characters in this show. There's only 2 Jogo cards. He's a pretty basic card, I think, and the Mahito can play around with the transfigured humans archetype a little bit. Let's talk about the Todo first and the Kyoto School archetype. We have the Todo raid here. 5 energy, purple color, 1 action point, 1 energy generation, raid on another Todo, of course. We have double damage on him. Pretty good with 4,000 battle points. And on play, this character gains 2,000 battle points during this turn. You may choose 1 character on your opponent's front line and 1 character on your opponent's energy line and switch the position. So this is like his ability. It's pretty funny. He gained 2,000 battle points, 6k. So if you raid with him, he would need to be blocked, or he will get like double damage out. 6k swing is pretty strong, which means you shouldn't raid this card in your opponent's turn. I think it's better to swing with him. And yeah, you can switch 1 character out. Pretty strong raid character. And pretty accurate too. So these are the small Todo cards. There's 3 in total. First you have the 0 cost with a get trigger, pretty standard cards. The next one is the 3 cost Todo, and he gains plus 500 battle points if there's a Takada-chan on your area. Okay, I'm not sure if I took her out of the set. And he has also activate main ability, discard 1 card once per turn. This character gains double damage. Similar to his like bigger version, he just can gain double damage. 2,500 battle points and a color trigger. You can play a character with 2 energy and 1 action point from the outside area to your front line as active. It's pretty strong, pretty good. Now the support for the Kyoto School Todo is the Miwa Kazumi. She has 4 energy, double action point, 1 energy generation, only 2,000 battle points and double attacks. That's pretty funny. So this character must block opponent's attacks if possible. Okay, that's kind of new. So she has to block. Okay. On play, choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line. It gets minus battle times for each other trade character in the same line as this character during this turn. Oh, so she can KO from both lines, from the front line and from the energy line, and she's not a raid card. She should have been double energy, but maybe it's not necessary. That's pretty strong. If you have 4 Kyoto School cards in your energy area, you can KO someone in the energy area. Oh? No, frontline, yeah. Okay. And then on block, choose up to 1 of your opponent that is attacking and gets minus for each other card in the same line. Oh wow, okay. So her on block ability is pretty strong. That's, yeah. So here on block and on play is basically the same. If it's on the front line, she has to block. If you have 4 Kyoto School cards on your field, she blocks the first attack and your opponent loses minus 4,000 battle points. Damn, she's a pretty strong card. That sounds kind of funny. Let's take a look at a smaller version, which is just an on play draw 1 card, 2 action points, 1 energy generation. Pretty standard. But she is pretty strong. Okay, next is take a look at the Kyoto School archetype. You have the Chancellor, right? The President. 0 cost, active trigger, 2,000 battle points, 1 energy generation, pretty standard. You have the 2 cost, the robot Mashamaru. He's like the Urahara in the Bleach deck. If he's active, double energy generation, pretty good. Okay. We got the 1 cost Utahime. Oh, she does a lot. So she's just a searcher, but she also fills your outside area. So you can look top 3 cards, Kyoto School trade, and place 1 card in your hands to the sideline, outside area. Also not double energy generation. So yep. This one, Kamo Noritoshi, 3 energy, 1 action point when attacking, choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line, it gets minus 1000. Okay. This is pretty good, so pretty decent character. And the last, so the Mai is the 0 cost on play, choose up to 1 character on your area, it gets plus 1000 battle points. Okay. That's good for generating energy while buffing your characters at the same time. You can play it early on and maybe later on to get like the double attack out on the Toto. The Momo is 3 cost energy. We have it here too. On play, she can play another Kyoto School character with 2 energy from your hand rested. Okay, so she can fill your board. Pretty good, pretty strong. I'm not sure if this one has event cards. Maybe I missed them out, but maybe I'm gonna talk about them later. There actually are 2 event cards for the Kyoto School Toto. This one is the special trigger, which this card can play bottom deck, a 5000 battle point character, but your opponent can play 1 character card with 3 energy to the front line rested, and the on-play effect doesn't activate. If you have a Toto on field, you can draw 1 card. So you can run it in both decks, but if you have a Toto on field, you can draw 1 card, and this is the special trigger. And the other one is the memory that never happened. You can choose 1 Toto on your area and 1 character other than Toto on your area. They get 1000 battle points during this turn, and if you have if 2 cards were chosen, the chosen Toto gains impact. Oh, okay. So you can buff your small Totos, or you can buff your double attack big Toto. And both characters will gain plus 1000 battle points. Yeah, very good. Okay, next let's talk about the bad boys, the Jogo raid and the Mahito raid. I think the Mahito raid is a little bit more complex, so we're gonna start with the Jogo first. So Jogo, raid on Jogo, on play, choose up to 1 character in your opponent's frontline with 3000 battle points and retire. So you can just KO 3k, yeah. 4000 battle points, 1 energy generation, pretty standard. And then the smaller Gojo, on play, choose up to 1 character in opponent's frontline. It's pretty much, okay, no, against minus 1000 battle points. So if you play both of them, you can KO, or if you play him and then you raid him, then you can KO 4k. Oh, that's pretty decent. Nothing too fancy, but like pretty okay. Next we have the Mahito. He's the Curse Spirit, same like him, kind of archetype. He raids on Mahito and he has an on-play to give minus 2500 battle points to one of your opponent's frontline characters, and you can return 1 Transfigured Human or Self-Embodiment of Perfection. I think this is a side or an event card from your outside area to your hand. So we have the 3 cost Mahito, active main ability when on the front line once per turn, retire 1 character on your area other than Mahito. If you do so, you may place 3 cards from the top of your deck to the outside area and play 1 Transfigured Human character from your hand or outside area active on your field. Oh, that's good. So he mills and you can play from your graveyard or from your hand. It's pretty funny. He has double energy generation too, and only 1 energy cost. So it's pretty good to play him on the, oh no, he needs to be on the front line to activate the effect, yeah, makes sense. Also color trigger, play purple character, 2 cost or less from the outside area to the front line active. The character support for the Mahito, he's not a cursed spirit, but like he probably goes along with them, is Geto. He's not a raid character. He's a get trigger, add this card to your hand, impact 1, on play you may retire 1 other character from your area. That is, okay, that is kind of weird. You may require 1 character, okay. So you can kill someone from your west side. And when it's only frontline, if a character from the area was retired during this turn, your opponent retires 1 character, okay. So basically he sacrifices 1 of your cards and your opponent needs to sacrifice 1 of their cards. For 2 action points. No raid, but it got impact. And you got a smaller version too. He has on play, you may retire 1 other character on your area. If I did, you can look at the top 6 card and you can get 2 trained Curse Spirit cards. Okay, so he's this searcher for Curse Spirit cards to your hand. And then the rest will go onto the outside area. So here we have the support cards for the Mahito, the Geto, and so on. We have the Curse Spirits here, which is basically only the Hanami, if I'm correct. Oh no, we got a Dagon too. So these can be searched besides the two raid cards by the Geto and Blade too. You got Dagon on retire if it's KO'd. Draw a card, so if you sacrifice this card with Geto, remember this ability, you can sacrifice, or was it Maito? Whatever. You can sacrifice one of your characters and your opponent has to sacrifice one character. So you can sacrifice this and you can draw a card. Pretty strong. Really decent. Then we have the Hanamis, yeah. So the first Hanami is just impact negate, 0 cost, pretty decent, and then the second one can gain double energy and can play it if your opponent is yellow or blue, you can play it for 1 less energy. I think there's someone mowing the lawn in the background, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. But here are the support cards for the Mahito in specific. We got the 2 transfigured humans that you can play with him. The first one, you can rest this card or retire this card, and one character on your opponent's front line loses 1000 battle points. And the second one is just vanilla, doesn't do anything fancy. And then you have his especially field spell, Self-Embodiment of Perfection. Then your Mahito attacks, you may retire one character on your area other than Mahito, and then you can play one transfigured human from your hand or outside area and set it to active. And lastly, we have the Shikigami, Moondread, and Junpei. On play, if there's a Mahito on your area, place the top 3 cards of your deck into the outside area, and if it got KO'd, if there's a Mahito on your area, play up to 1 transfigured version of him from your hand or outside area arrested. So, yeah. This deck kind of wants to sacrifice cards on your side of the field and then replay them as active on your front line. So you can get many swings of like 1500 battle points characters in, together with cards that reduce like the battle points of your opponent characters. This can be strong. It's like a pretty aggro deck, I think. And lastly, we have just 2 more event cards. The Ember Insects on the right side. Choose one character on your opponent's front line with 2500 battle points or less and retire it. And if there's a Jogo on your area, you can draw a card. So this is kind of a little bit support for the raid Jogo. It's not too strong, but like you can draw a card and you can KO 2500 battle points character. So if you minus somebody, you can probably KO like 2500 till 4k with this card. And on the left side, we got the domain expansion, which is just set your action points back to active again. And also the final trigger for this deck. So yeah, these were the purple cards from the upcoming Jujutsu Kaisen set. They're pretty funny, like both of these, like the Kyoto School archetype and the Curse Spirit, the Bad Boys archetype that revolve around playing cards from your sideline lord. Both of them are pretty fun to play. I think the Curse Spirit sounds a little bit better on paper, but this character is just like super strong, and I think she can do like a lot of work in the Kyoto School deck, while the Todo can like put damage onto your opponent or KO character while attacking. So lastly, we will talk about the blue color from Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the last video that I do because it has a structure deck too, and it's pretty big, so you can do I think you can do a lot of things with the blue set. Lastly, we will talk about the blue Jujutsu Kaisen color in the upcoming set. Here we have the structure deck that is coming out. It will be a blue Sukuna structure deck, 18 different cards, 50 cards in total. And on the other side we have all the blue cards that are coming out in the booster packs in the set. So let's take a look first at the structure deck. Here we have the Raid Sukuna, which requires 1 Yuji Tadori. He will be in meta when he comes out. He's pretty strong and he revolves around collecting the Sukuna's fingers and putting them in your outside area. This ability is, in your turn, if there's 1 or more Sukuna's finger in your outside area, this character gets plus 1000 battle points. If there are 2 or more, this character gains impact 1. And his on-play ability is draw 2 cards, place 1 card from behind out to the outside area. So let's take a look at the cards in the deck. First, I want to talk about the main event card, the Sukuna Swinger. 1 blue energy, 1 action point. This card cannot be used unless you place 1 card from your life to the outside area or rest 1 of your active UG cards on your area. The effect is draw 1 card and choose up to 1 of your action points and set it to active. So basically you can just draw for free if you have it in your hand, and you should mostly only play it if you have like a UG on your field that you can rest. Because taking 1 life card to play this card is kinda, yeah, it's not a good choice. So the rest of the structure deck is pretty standard. You have your 0-cost characters, 0-cost UG Itadori, 0-cost Megumi, then these 2 that can mill 1 card, and the GG who can gain 1 more energy if you sideline at the end of the turn. For the 1-cost cards you only have the Megumi, you can give minus 1000 battle points to someone on play. 2-cost cards is Gojo, who's active, generates 1 more energy. The Nobara, 2 energy, can bounce 0 cost or 1 energy cost back to your hand to be played. Yeah, these are like the pretty standard cards. You have like a UG who gains 1000 battle points if there's a Sukuna finger in your outside area, but only in your opponent's turn. So, yep. Vanilla, Nobara, then some Megumi who can bounce the 3k back to the hand, a Gojo who can bounce anyone back to the hand, and then the Sukuna Red. For the event cards you have the Domain Expansion, again just setting your action points back to active. The Sukuna's Finger, which I already talked about. We have the Divergent Fist, which is a good support for the UG. Because in the booster packs there are like 1 or 2 UG raid cards. You can only play UG without the Sukuna. And lastly is the Field, Jujutsu High School. When you play an event card in your turn, you can rest you can rest this card and all your characters gain plus 1000 battle points during the end of the turn. It's pretty okay. Now talking about the boosters, you have 3 main raid cards. As you can see here, you have another Sukuna raid card, you have 1 Yuji raid card, and then you have 1 Nanami Kento raid card. So since we just talked about the structure deck, let's talk about these 2 first, because they can go along with the structure deck. First we have the Sukuna support if you want to run the Sukuna, which is like, I think, a little bit stronger than just running the UG. You have his second raid character, 5 energy cost, 1 action point, 1 energy generation. On play he can rest up to 1 of your opponent's frontline characters, and the next time it will be active, it won't become active, so he just frozen, and then he can look at the top 5 cards and can look for 1 Sukuna Finger or Malvolent Shrine and add it to the hand. Next we have like a really strong card, another Sukuna, this time not a raid card, impact 1, 6 energy, 2 action points, so high cost. But his on-play ability is when you play him on the front line, your opponent needs to return 1 of their characters from their front line to the hand, so that their opponent can choose which one to return. But if you have 2 or 3 Sukuna's Finger in your outside area, they need to return 2, and if you have 4 of the Sukuna's Finger in the outside area, they need to return 3. So this is like super strong card if you have like all 4 fingers in the outside area. And then the other support is the Field spell. I already talked about the Malevolent Shrine. It will be played as active, and it will gain like different abilities depending on how many Sukuna fingers you have in your outside area. You gotta choose 1 of your Sukuna on your field, and then it gains it gains all of them. If you have 2 fingers in your outside area, it gains double damage. If you have 3 fingers, it gains Sniper, and if you have 4 fingers, against impact during the turn. Yeah, during the turn, only during the turn. So again, 4 fingers together with the Sukuna, this is like super strong. Double damage, Sniper. So double damage doesn't really matter if you have Sniper, because you want to kill like 1 of your opponent's characters, and you will only deal 1 impact damage. But yeah, just it's gonna be like a really strong deck. Next we have the UG raid. In case you don't wanna. Next we have the UG raid in case you don't want to run the Sukuna, or maybe you can combine them like a little bit. Because both of them require to be raids that you need to raid a UG, which is pretty funny and pretty good. His on-play ability is you can choose up to one of your opponent's frontline characters with 4,000 battle points and return them to the hand. So he can just bounce one of their characters back. This is strong to be played like in either turn. Like in your opponent's turn, you could like do the raid trigger and bounce one of the attackers back to hand. Or like in your turn, you could just bounce anyone back to the hand. The other cards in the set are like reprints of like the Divergent Fist that I already talked about from the structure deck. Then the zero cost UG. I think this one was in the structure deck too, because he's like the searcher for the Sukuna finger. Yeah, I think he was in the structure deck too. Like he searches for one Sukuna finger, and you need to discard one card if you added one card to your hand. And this one could be new, I think. He costs 2 action points, 3 energy. You can choose up to one character on your opponent's frontline with 3,500 battle points or less, and if you have 1 or 2 Sukuna's finger on your outside area, you can return the chosen character. If you have 3, you can sideline it. The last card, the last raid card in the blue set is the Nanami Kento. I think he goes kind of on his own, or maybe you can also combine him with like the UG. Or maybe also the either the Sukuna. But yeah, you can play him on his own pretty much. Again, he's a raid character, Nanami Kento, and and his main ability is if you have like 15 or less cards in your deck, this character gains plus 1,000 battle points, double damage, and impact. So you want to mill like a lot of cards of him out of your deck. You want to draw a lot of cards with him, and play him like in the very late game, so he gains like all of these abilities. If he is KO'd, if he get KO'd, you can place 2 cards from the top of your deck in the outside area, and you can sideline one of your opponent's character. Oh no, you can rest one of your opponent's character. So that helps you to reduce like the cards in your deck a little bit. So there's his 0 cost Nanami Kento, is like basic basic character that you can play early and then raid later. The next one will be a 3 energy cost Nanami Kento. He has a vendor attacking ability, middle one card from the top of your deck. You can give one of your opponent's character 1,500 or more battle points, minus 1,000 during your turn. And the last one is also like kind of relying on your deck. If you have, so he's a 4 energy cost, 2 action point cost. If you have 15 or more, if you have 15 or less, if you have 15 or less cards in your deck, this character gains impact. On play card, you may place 7 cards from the outside area to the remove area. If you did, try 3 cards. Okay. So mill 3 cards from your outside, from your graveyard to the remove area, and then draw 3 cards. So his support card and the special trigger is the ratio technique collapse. 4 energy costs, 1 action point. Choose one character on your opponent's field with 5,000 battle points or less, and you can place it at the top or bottom of your opponent's deck. If you have a Nanami Kento on your field, you can choose, and if you don't have him on the field, your opponent chooses. So yeah, you can run the Nanami as a support character. Just get the 0 cost and like his raid in your deck, and play him in the late game, or you can like try to use his other forms and build a deck around him. He's just like, yeah, he's a strong support character, I would say. And lastly, here we have like just some other cards that are in the set. The blue color one doesn't have a lot of cards like the yellow and the purple one, because there's also already the structure deck out. So first we have like the Maki, and she's a 2 energy, 1 action point, 1,500 battle points. She deals with like the trade curse tool, which are like event cards. Currently there are 2 event cards with curse tool. And her ability is on your opponent's turn if you have one or more cursed tool cards, or 4 or more event cards in your outside area discovered against, like doubles her battle points. And on play, look at the top 2 cards, add 1 card among them to your hand, and then place the other one on the outside area. There's also like the 3 energy version of her, costs also 1 action point. If you have 1 or more trade curse tool cards or 4 or more event cards in your outside area, discard against buffs 1000 battle points. So she just buffs herself depending on how many curse tools you have in your outside area. And as I already mentioned, there's 2 of them at the moment. There's Slaughter Demon as an event card, 1 character on your front line can get plus 2000 battle points, and then you draw 1 card. And lastly, there's the Playful Cloud, which lets you KO one of your opponent's frontline characters with 2500 or less battle points. Over here we have like just 2 more new support cards that you can play. The Todo. When attacking, you can like switch 1 character on your front line with 1 on your energy line. 5 energy cost and 4000 battle points. So again, just like a support character, similar to her. And let's see, the other one is the Megumi. Okay, he might be in the structure deck already too. He can just KO one of your opponent's field cards. Like put it at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, that's like the most of the blue color of the Jujutsu Kaisen set that is coming out soon. The structure deck, and then some additional cards that you can buff your deck with. The Sukuna, both of these Sukunas, they will be, I think, top meta when they come out. They're really strong. The Yuji can be seen like at the top 2, but maybe like around A tier, and Nanami Kento can be seen like as a support. Like here on his own, I don't know how well he will do, because there's like a little bit too less support for him currently. If you want to build a deck, I think you should like aim for the Sukuna, like get a structure deck and try to get some more Sukuna cards, especially like the Malevolent Shrine, which is like pretty good. I hope you enjoyed the showcase. This was the last set that I showcased. I showcased the other sets already in like different videos, or maybe it will be the same video, I don't know yet. If you have any questions, or if you have any ideas on how to build like the decks, just let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you next time.